after pushing all that dirty water into the random lake and all the settling base in its lake, I had really expected the ending to this campaign mission to be a bit more kind of disastrous, catastrophic. Alright then everyone, hello and welcome back to another episode on the Transport Fever 2 campaign with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to Canada. So, in the last episode, after a lot of back and forth between a green economy and going back to tar sand mining, we are now back doing damage to the environment. Beautiful. And, well, it turns out that one of our settling basins has gone and started leaking. So that is the very first task that we are going to have to take on for today's episode, and then after that we'll kind of just see what comes our way. I have the feeling that this very campaign mission is not going to last for too much longer. We're probably going to move on to the next one quite shortly after, but that remains to be seen today then. But just quickly, before you start doing all of this, if you're new around here, if you happen to enjoy this episode, please make sure to smash that subscribe button right down below. That will mean the absolute world to me. We are currently very well on our way to 1,000 subscribers, and every single person truly does help out a ton. Please thank you very much if you did that. And without further ado, let's go and get things moving. So the base thing that needs to be sealed is up here, which is also conveniently placed right next to an airport. So very much liking that part. And the construction materials are right down here. So I think the way that we are going to go with this is a very nice and easy way. We are going to go and make a tad bit of space right there. We don't need to input anything into this construction material plant, so what we are literally going to do is we're going to take a small cargo airfield and we're going to place this right here. That is, if we can actually fit things in, as you can see. Not quite enough space still, so you know that street will have to go alongside with that building, and then we will come back to this very matter. Connecting things up there like that, absolutely beautiful. And then we can get this all going. Now we do have some planes technically, but they are actually taking care of some stuff right here, which means they're taking oil to... what are they doing with the oil? I guess bring it down here for the food processing plant, and that's them being sold out. I guess we're just going to get a few new ones. That said, we don't really have that much money remaining, so maybe we won't, and we'll just reassign some. This line is set up like that already, so let's go to managing vehicles and checking out what lines we have with which airplanes assigned to them. Jesus Christ, we've got a lot of them indeed. So there's 3 aircraft assigned to this line. We're just going to make it 1 instead, I guess. Assigned 2 over to the other line. Do we have more anywhere else, though? We do have 3 right there. So we're going to assign those over to, and then those aircraft can actually take care of this task for us, because, well, honestly, I mean, we're down to like 26 mil now. We're not really making a profit given our weird distribution system out here, so... well, I think the more we reuse these planes now, the better, because otherwise we may face bankruptcy before we get done with this mission. So, you know, that's not really an ideal scenario, and we do kind of sort of ideally want to avoid that. On the upside of things, this aircraft right here is also already nearly there, which is beautiful. And we've already got some construction materials stacking up, so things should not be taking all too long. Given that we've got 4 aircraft, it should be more than 1 round trip though. So, given that we don't have a secondary mission currently, what I'll be doing is I'll be placing a quick cut here, and if anything comes up in the meanwhile, I'll get you guys back in. For now though, see you on the other side of this very cut. Alright everybody, and we're back, and you will, if we look at the lines here, be able to notice that I have actually bought an additional 2 airplanes for this line in the meanwhile, because I had not quite read the description of the mission accurately enough. If you look down here, you can see that basins are leaking more and more, and additional materials are needed. It's a matter of utmost urgency. So what that means is if you very closely watch this timer, you can see, well, not the timer, the counter, you can see that things just ticked down there a second ago, and there it was again. So basically, the longer we take to deliver these construction materials, the more the basin is leaking, meaning the more materials we need. That is why the timer kind of ticks, well, not the timer, the counter ticks against us. So you can see here, I mean, we've got a consumption already of 72 and we're at 55. We have basically delivered a lot more than we needed to, and had I not brought these planes in, it would have been even more, because of course this takes down on a time basis. But with that said then, we are now finally done with this task, and as I had already assumed, here we go.
The Canadian economy is growing like never before, and you share the responsibility.
Okay, so that's something at the very least, I guess. You know, after pushing all that dirty water into the random lake and all the settling basin that's leaking, I had really expected the ending to this campaign mission to be a bit more kind of disastrous, catastrophic, of like, the basin broke and now everything's flooded and the entire wildlife is dead and stuff like that. I suppose that did not happen, so very successful mission for us, and we are good to go on to the next campaign mission then, as I had already kind of previously anticipated was probably going to happen today. So let me go place a quick cut, and I'll be right back with you to check out what the next mission is going to be. Alright everyone, so back we are in the main menu in Chapter 3, and as you can see, there's actually only one campaign mission left to go till we're finally done with the Transport Fever 2 campaign. That one being Megacity. Let's see what it is all about.
China between the present and the future. The metropolis of Shanghai is growing and growing and growing. The challenges associated with this are manifold, just like the potential problem-solving approaches. An urban paradise could soon thrive here, or a nightmare come true. Its fate remains uncertain. But one thing is certain. A lot depends on future transportation planning. Off to a journey into the world of tomorrow.
So, there we go. Very interesting one indeed. Shanghai it is going to be. We're starting in the 2010s and we're going all the way till 2030, it seems. I don't think there's any like sort of futuristic trains in this game that have not come out yet, or at least I wouldn't have noticed yet, but who really knows? I'm really interested to see just how this is going to go, and hopefully it's going to be very fun and interesting for our last mission in the campaign. So without further ado, let's hit that start button, and I'll see you on the other side of this very cut.
The most significant industrial metropolis in China. The most significant industrial metropolis in the whole world. Constantly on the move. In never-ending transformation. Where the journey is headed remains to be seen. But it's moving at breakneck speed, that's for sure. As a member of the municipal government, you set the decisive course. A simple decision-making matrix helps you to decide. The future lies in your hands.
Right, there we are. Guess the captions were broken there for a second. That was quite confusing. And also, we've not been read the first mission task just yet. So, let's get that one read out loudly to us too.
Shanghai, a metropolis with millions of people, is surrounded by districts that equally house millions. The demand for mobility is growing. Make the necessary decisions for handling long-distance transportation. Two options exist for coping with the volume of passengers: trains or planes.
Alright, so there we go. That's, you know, making decisions. I guess, given at least what I sort of think I know about Chinese transportation, we're going to focus on trains, because there's a lot of very cool high-speed trains that China has, breaking one record after another. So I'd be very intrigued to see which of those are actually in the game. but I just wanted to take a quick second to admire the look of the city with you. I think it looks great, honestly. I was really afraid initially when we were in the game that we only had like, well, the old version of like these skyscrapers, and that was kind of going to be the max, or well, maybe these more for reference. But it seems that there's also other models in the game, which is cool and beautiful indeed. And I guess this is where this radio tower is eventually going to be built that we saw in well, you guys didn't see the loading screen, but in the initial picture depicting this campaign mission. So very interested to see about that. I guess we're going to take part in that construction eventually, but don't want to be spoiling ourselves too much here, I guess. Let's click focus on trains for a start.
You've made your decision. The decision calls for establishing a suitable infrastructure and providing corresponding services.
Sounds good to me. So we've got a bunch of requirements here. Building 4 train stations. Build trains on a bring trains into operation 12. Transport passengers by train 200. So that's going to be a whole big task right there already. Now, what I do see is a good bunch of space out here where we could probably quite nicely place a train station in order to kind of connect to, I'm not going to try and butcher these names because I'm absolutely going to mess them up. But Hangzhou, I think, is still doable. This one, I don't know. Suzhou and Wuxi, maybe? Let me know just how far off I am in the comments if you want, I guess. But yeah, so I think this spot may be quite ideal. Let's go. Get ourselves a train station. We're going to make it a terminus. These modern train stations, I have to say, are like absolutely sick. High speed, of course. We're going to make it nice and long. And, well, given the intended amount of connections, I think we're going to go... Well, maybe for Nantong, we want a potential connection as well. Let's not make this too small. We're just going to do 3 train lines now. And I do have to say, I would really actually like to change the actual, like, main building here. Because, you know, that's the small one. And, I mean, this is flippin' Shanghai, not like some sort of, I don't know, German village in the middle of nowhere, you know? So... let us maybe leave a tad bit of space here. I don't think there's any option for changing the building type here in advance. So we're going to do that. Slightly angle this to, well, maybe like that, you know, somewhere in the middle of things. So building train lines is going to be more or less easily doable. Going to construct that here. And we're going to go and configure this thing. Because, like, honestly, I mean, that needs to go. And this is what we need in our lives, right? It looks way, way better. So that we're going to build. And I cannot build side buildings, apparently, if it's a terminus. Which I'm quite sad about. But okay, it is what it is. That's going to be the way that things work out. Well, maybe if we were to configure more train lines, I guess. Should we just configure more train lines just... for the heck of it, so we can like have some side buildings? Let's see if that works, I guess. Do I now get to build that? I do! Haha. See, there we go. So, I don't know. I just kind of need that in my life, I guess. We're gonna go do that. Going to go and build another large side building right there, and I think that's more like it. That's more a train station that would be fitting for a city like this. Buy houses, buy trees, buy everything else in between here. And we'll just go and pull a separate street through the middle right here. Well, can we connect it up here? I guess we can. Somewhat like this. Still not great. I'm not even sure why we're designing this, to be honest. There's no need. But hey, why not have some extra fun every once in a while? We're going to do... oh, that street is too big now. Oh, well. Going to do something a little like that, and then the construction is not going to be possible for whatever reason. I guess that main building or side building is still in the way, is it? Nope. Well, I guess we can do something a little like that. Anyways, we've got a nice big train station going. That's all I ever wanted really here. So, that is the first train station. Good to go. We are going to go and build some more, of course. Now, the passenger station out here. Look at this. This is still a small building. Wow, okay. Biggest train station possible, and that's the smallest building. I'm not sure about that one. But we will kind of aim to place this more on the outskirts, I guess. Because the train is going to have to move through somewhere. I don't want to really plow through the middle of the city. Then again, something along these lines would probably reach way more households if we were to connect it to the other side. But we would have to remove so many buildings. I don't think we're going to do that. Going to go to 2 train tracks right here. And I think we're going to build things like right around the outside here. And we're going to do a terminus right there. Pretty much just like that. That's fine. Not perfectly angled, but it's totally fine for our purpose. In our free play world, I would be fine-tuning this way more. Out here, I think we can be totally happy with that. Now, right here in Suzhou, I guess the lakes are not going to make things easier for us, but something like that should work out in the very end, I hope, and we will go and turn this around and plunk down a terminus like here. That's actually quite nice. Pretty much smack on in the middle of the city. So that's already a sufficient amount of train stations. One too many, I guess, but it is what it is. What we will now do is we will actually maybe connect through these. What I'm thinking is we will actually go and use these extra tracks that we constructed here because we need 12 trains, right? So maybe having some extra train lines to smack all those trains on wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, and it would actually, oopsies, give us the opportunity to a bit more liberally kind of design and, well, design the train lines and interchange. Wait, no, that was correct. Other one wasn't correct. And interchange kind of between the different railways that we put down so that trains can kind of evade each other and all the things, and you know, that way things are hopefully going to be going a bit easier for us. So we have 6 train lines here in the very end, and that is going to be the way that we want to go. Basically, we're going to pull through one railway for, well, 2 railways for each line, right? And then we're going to, in the middle, kind of make some connections where the trains can intersect. Now, what we can already spot here, so we're unfortunately still at 300 kilometers an hour max speed. Would really love to see some train go like 500 kilometers an hour or something in the game. Not quite sure what actually the record is on the Chinese side, but I'm quite sure that it's a good bit higher than 300 kilometers an hour currently for them. That said, this is all pull through. We will go and do the same right here then. Not really going to care about top speed, honestly. It's going to be totally fine. And then that is connected through as well. The intersections we will take care of in a bit. For now, let's focus on these things. We will, oh god, okay, pull that through right there. Now these bridges and all we'll have to configure. As you can see, I mean, that's a bit of an issue. Cable stayed bridge 320? But like, why are we then limited to 300? Is there another track type coming, maybe? This thing says 320 kilometers an hour. I am very, very intrigued. But this is a new type of bridge as well, as you can see. Oh no. Well, we're going to have to change this now. But the cable stayed bridge. Look at that. It's quite nice and futuristic. What we will have to do... Can I just upgrade this? Nope. Well, we should have seen that in the beginning, I guess. We're going to go and delete all that, rebuild all that, lose a bit of money on it. It is what it is. We've got $1 billion, you know. should be fine. We're not going to be poor anytime soon here, I hope. Let's go and get out of the one tool and connect that through once more. Just like that, and then we're going to go make this a cable stayed bridge 2. And there we go. Absolutely beautiful. That looks quite nice indeed. So, that is that. Now, I hope I connected the right things up. I did indeed. We're going to have to connect the second line through as well, of course, which is automatically going to make the same type of bridge because we've got things connected, so that's very nice and easy as well. And then we are going to go and pull these last bits through here to make that railway happen. Perfect. So that's a start. Now what we will need here is going to be some intersects, kind of, where the trains can evade each other. I'm going to try and make these a bit closer to the train stations, because I guess that's usually where the trains are going to slow down anyway, so having intersections at that point in the travel should be kind of the best point to not lose all too much speed in terms of how fast the trains traverse the whole spot. Now then we will need some signals afterwards as well, I guess, but that we will take care of in just a minute. For the time being, let's go here, do kind of things in the same way. One connection like that, another one right there like that. Here it's going to be difficult, albeit, can we do this? Not really. No, I mean that doesn't work. So you can't do it on a bridge. I guess this space here will have to suffice. Too much curvature. Okay. Yeah, that works. Quite tight, but it does work. So bits before the train station, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Should still be fine, and we're going to do a similar thing right here, as well as up here. So 1 and 2. Cool. So with that done, then we will have to think where we need to place signals now. So I guess you would be placing signals right here and right here, kind of before and after these evasion thingies. And evasion thingy, I'm not, what are these called in English again? I've got no clue, honestly speaking right now. One way or another, let's plunk these down. These signals should be fine. Indeed, and then we can do the same thing right here. Should pretty much cover us, right? Just do these on all the places that the railways cross and where the trains can sort of meet each other, so that they can wait before these points for the other train to actually traverse this. And we get to go. That was almost a bit close to the train station there for the railway crossing path thingy, but it worked out in the end. So same thing that we will do right here, 2 in this direction, 2 in the other direction, and this is where we left off. 2 in this direction, 2 in the other one. Now the interesting part here is honestly going to be we need 12 trains, so I'm not quite sure yet how we want to do things here, because the thing is, if we want 12 trains, we kind of only have 2 train lines right now, which would equate to 4 trains. So my best idea here being that instead of doing 1 train per kind of like whole line, right? So like 1 train from Shanghai to Suzhou to Wuxi. Hope that I'm not butchering those names too badly. We do like 1 train from Shanghai to Suzhou, 1 train, well, 2 trains rather, from Shanghai to Suzhou, 2 trains Suzhou to Wuxi, and you know, the same thing all over the place. So that way, I guess, we would still not have enough trains. So that's beautiful. We will that way have 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 trains. How I'm going to bring 12 trains into operation? Not quite sure, honestly. It's a lot. I mean, we can't really put 3 into operation here unless we wanted to make things way more complicated and complex and probably prone to issues. So I'm gonna have to think about that. Maybe we just put some trains somewhere that don't actually do something. We'll find out, I think, more in the next episode then. For today, this has been it. Already got a base framework set out. We'll have to see how we get to 12 trains, because that's honestly quite mad. I suppose putting 2 trains onto a set of train carts won't be counting. Maybe we will try that in the next episode. Otherwise, we'll have to find a different way to actually go up to 12 trains. We will see about that then. For today, this has been it. I hope you all very much enjoyed the episode. As usual, if you did, please make sure to hit that like button right down below. That does always help out the channel a ton. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon in order to stay up to date in all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.